On April 28, 2025, the lights were turned down, the stakes were raised, and the famous red chairs swiveled with purpose as The Voice Season 27 kicked off the playoffs with a night of performances that will make your heart race. Teams Adam Levine and Kelsea Ballerini took the stage on the first night of the competition. Each coach was tasked with the difficult decision of reducing their 5-member teams to just 2 performers in order to advance to the live shows. The evening was a roller coaster of vocal victories, tearful farewells, and startling selections that had fans buzzing. Mega mentors Lean Rimes guided Team Adam, and Sheryl Crow advised Team Kelsea. Both teams were coached by Sheryl Crow, now who made it through and who went back to their homes. On the first night of the 27th season of The Voice playoffs, let's delve into the drama and artistry that unfolded. With the elimination of the safety nets of steals and saves, the playoffs are a particularly difficult phase of The Voice. During this phase, each artist is required to provide a performance that convinces their coach that they are deserving of a seat on the coveted live show. Both Team Adam, which consisted of Colby Cordell, Lucia Flores-Wiseman, Ethan Eckenrode, Britton Moore, and Connor James, and Team Kelsea, which included Iris Herrera, Tinica Wyatt, Jalen Johnston, Darius J., and Alana Linais, were under a significant amount of strain. During the night, it was not only about singing, it was also about sharing stories, having a presence on stage, and demonstrating that they were capable of carrying the weight of the next round of the competition. In the beginning of the evening, Team Adam displayed a combination of courageous risks and touching moments. During her performance of In My Life by the Beatles, Lucia Flores-Wiseman raised the bar to an extremely high level. To say that her performance was a masterclass in emotional delivery would be an understatement. Her voice moved through the song like a mild breeze in the summer. Fans and critics alike referred to it as beyond flawless, and Levine lauded her ability to make each note feel like it was written specifically for her. Lucia's connection to the song's introspective lyrics about life's fleeting moments struck a chord with the audience, which resulted in her receiving a standing ovation and establishing her as a frontrunner. As a result of her apparent artistic ability, it was not surprising that Levine chose her as one of his 2 candidates for advancement. Iris Herrera, a member of Team Kelsea, brought the rock star excitement to the stage with her rendition of Chris Stapleton's White Horse. In spite of the fact that her performance became a little bit chaotic towards the end, the stage was transformed into her very own arena thanks to her imposing stage presence and gritty rasp. Nevertheless, the unpolished and raw edge worked in her favor, as it exemplified the defiant spirit that is characteristic of rock and roll. Iris's ability to own the moment was praised by Ballerini, who appeared to be in a state of conflict. Ballerini's choice to advance Iris to the live shows was interpreted as a testament to her potential to shine in the rounds that were voted on by the crowd. In the blind auditions, Ethan Eckenrode, who was a member of Team Adam, took a risk by performing an original song, which was a strategy that had proven successful for him. Some people felt that his performance lacked the vocal fireworks that were necessary to stand out in the playoffs, despite the fact that it was soulful and genuine, demonstrating his songwriting and performance skills. In his rendition of Bruno Mars' Finesse, Colby Cordell brought an engaging energy to the performance, but he struggled with vocal consistency, which resulted in a performance that was a mixed bag. Connor James, on the other hand, went with Chappell Roan's Pink Pony Club, which began with a gentle touch but was unable to adequately portray the song's growing energy. Levine was left wanting more as a result of his lack of stage spark, a criticism that matched the thoughts of fans on, where some voiced disappointment in his controlled delivery. A performance of Tim McGraw's If You're Reading This, that was given by Jalen Johnston for Team Kelsea, was so moving that it brought tears to the eyes. Kansan, who is 21 years old, poured his heart and soul into the country ballad. His clear vocals and profound emotional range won over the audience as well as Ballerini. Fans of the show referred to him as the best voice of the night, and it seemed like a natural progression for him to be promoted to the live shows, particularly after his outstanding performance in the knockouts. Despite the fact that Alana Linais shown vocal control with her soulful rendition of Lady Gaga's I'll Never Love Again, she was unable to equal the emotional intensity of her earlier rounds, which caused some people to question whether or not she had accomplished their expectations. With his youthful voice producing crisp and emotional notes, Britton Moore, who is a member of Team Adam, chose to perform a cover of Free by Zac Brown Band, which is filled with country music. There were some coaches who felt that his performance lacked the dynamic range that was necessary to compete with Lucia's powerhouse moment, despite the fact that they praised his tonal beauty. Tinica Wyatt, who was a member of Team Kelsea, chose to focus on her original song, which was a daring decision that emphasized her one-of-a-kind artistry, but did not fully connect with the competitive nature of the playoffs. Darius J., who had just finished stealing the show from Team Adam in the knockouts, added swagger to Estelle's American Boy, and he received a standing ovation for his impassioned delivery throughout the performance. His vocal precision, on the other hand, was inconsistent at times, which was a source of controversy among fans online. As the night drew to a close, Levine and Ballerini were confronted with the most difficult choices they had ever made. The stunning performance that Lucia Flores-Wiseman delivered for Team Adam made her a sure thing, but the contest for the second position was a close one. Britton Moore was ultimately selected by Levine, who cited his youthful beauty and claimed that he had the potential to develop further in the live shows. This resulted in Ethan Eckenrode, Colby Cordell, and Connor James being released from their positions, a decision that ignited a heated debate on the subject. One user said, "Ethan's original was better than half the covers tonight." Fans expressed their disappointment with Ethan's expulsion from the competition. Adam made a critical error here. Connor's departure was also met with criticism, with several individuals feeling that his distinctive style merited a second opportunity. Ballerini's selections were just as divisive as her choices. Jalen Johnston's emotional resonance and Iris Herrera's rock star feel earned them the 2 slots, a selection that aligned with fan favorites on social media. Jalen Johnston's style was described as emotional resonance. On the other hand, abandoning Alana Linais, Tinica Wyatt, and Darius J. was a painful experience. The fans of Alana were very outspoken, with one message featuring the following: "Alana's voice is pure magic. An error was committed by Kelsea." The elimination of Darius, despite the fact that he had an explosive stage presence, stunned many people. However, several people believed that his voice irregularities may have been the deciding factor. Although Tinica's exit was less acrimonious than others, it nevertheless left fans hoping that she would be successful outside of the competition. Ethan Eckenrode, Colby Cordell, Connor James, Alana Linais, Tinica Wyatt, and Darius J. were among the artists who were eliminated for the night. These eliminations felt like a seismic change because they eliminated musicians who had been fan favorites in earlier rounds. At this point, the 4 finalists who have advanced, Lucia Flores-Wiseman, Britton Moore, Iris Herrera, and Jalen Johnston, carry the momentum of their respective teams' ambitions into the live shows, where the votes of the public will determine their success or failure. The guidance that they received from LeAnn Rimes and Sheryl Crow is still fresh in their minds, and as a result, these musicians are prepared to provide their best performance. It is very evident that the playoffs were about more than simply voices when one considers the night in question. In the pool of talent, the ability of Lucia to weave a story, Iris's bold command of the stage, Jalen's delivery that wore her heart on her sleeve, and Britton's raw potential stood out as particularly noteworthy. However, the eliminations brought to light the harsh reality of the voice. which is that even the most talented artists can fail to make it to the final round when the margins are so slim. According to Michael Bublé, who was interviewed by NBC Insider, sending musicians home is a difficult experience. Nonetheless, it frequently marks the beginning of their careers. This remark provides hope for those who are not able to make it through the competition. Night 1 of the playoffs was a demonstration of the remarkable originality and tenacity displayed by the artists competing on The Voice Season 27. Teams John Legend and Michael Bublé are scheduled to take the stage next, which means that the competition is only going to get much more intense. And for the time being, fans are left to lament the loss of 6 wonderful voices, while simultaneously praising the voices of Lucia, Britton, Iris, and Jalen. As stated in a post, this is the reason why The Voice is so difficult to watch. There is an excessive amount of talent, but not enough spots.